All right, welcome to the Collector Car Podcast. This time I'm coming from Moda Miami. So I know you love owner stories, so I've interviewed quite a few owners, including a Ferrari NART Spider, a really cool Allard, and other cars from the Moda Miami show field. So be sure to check it out this episode. Now, last week, I actually covered the RM Sotheby's results from Moda Miami, really strong results. If you want to hear more about that, go to last week's episode. And next week, I will have some fun owner stories from the Amelia, as well as the results from Broad Arrow, as well as Gooding. So as always, thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. Please support my sponsors. And now let's get to some really great interviews. Every car in your garage tells a story, where it's been, how it's been maintained, and what makes it truly yours. Carport gives you a simple digital garage to document, organize, and manage your vehicles all in one place. Track service history, store important records, and keep your collection dialed in with confidence. From your daily driver to your dream car, Carport keeps everything in order so you're always ready for the road. And best of all, it's free to use and is 100% private. To learn more, go to carport.app.
Every garage is a mirror of the mind that builds it. The garage becomes a quiet dialogue between who you are and what you craft. A garage is where work becomes meditation and solace, where mechanical truth becomes mental clarity. Some people go to offices, some go to mountains, others go to garages. At Metron Garage, we build for people who do all three. Give us a call to get started.
If you own a collector car, you already know it deserves more than a standard insurance policy. NCM Insurance specializes in agreed value coverage designed specifically for classic collector and enthusiast vehicles. From weekend drivers to serious collectors, they understand how these cars are used, stored, and protected. To learn more about protecting your collector car the right way, visit ncminsurance.com. Coverage built for the cars you care about.
Imagine a journey so rare it only happened once. That's the spirit behind Once. Exclusive, one-time only adventures that will never be repeated. Our next experience, American Muscle Legends, takes you trackside with the most iconic cars in history, complemented by luxury accommodations and behind-the-scenes access you simply can't buy. Spots are limited. When it's gone, it's gone. You can learn more at discoveronce.com/muscle. All right, I have a longtime friend here, Brad. How you doing, Brad?
Good. Welcome to Moda Miami.
Yeah, man. We've been dodging the rain, but right now it's really nice out, and you were nice enough to bring an incredible car that's been in your family for how long now?
Yeah, 40 years.
40 years. So tell us about this wonderful, I think they called it in the movie...
Thomas Crown Affair?
Yeah, they called it this little Italian red thing. Tell us about this little Italian red thing.
Yeah, so this is a 1967 NART Spider. It's a Ferrari 275 GTB 4-cam. Luigi Canetti of the North American Racing Team commissioned a few of them to be converted into a convertible. This is one of 10 of the originals that was originally converted. This is the third one produced. It was sold in 1968 to a gentleman down here in Miami. So it's great to sort of bring it back to its original stomping grounds.
Yeah, that's awesome. Now, if I remember right, Canetti originally wanted like 25, but they only actually made 10?
Yeah, he wanted a few. I don't know the exact amount that he requested. I think it was a little bit over 20, but yeah, he only got 10, and the 10 are still very sought after vehicles.
Now, if you could share, I remember when your dad bought this car, it was kind of an interesting story. What can you share about that?
Yeah, so it was in the middle of a restoration down here. The owner at the time was up in Fort Lauderdale. And basically, in the middle of the restoration, he decided he didn't want it. So after saying he was never going to sell the vehicle, my dad, who had met him a few years earlier, got a call saying, "The car's for sale, come on down and pick it up."
Do you mind opening the door just to look at this pumpkin interior?
Perfect.
Tell us about the color combo.
Yeah, it is. It's referred to as the NART with the orange interior. It's got a beautiful leather, but definitely has that orange hue to it. Could have moved that.
That's okay.
The car cover for you, but yeah.
So red line is 7,600 RPMs, it looks like. Now, how fast have you driven this car?
I have not pushed this car. I've enjoyed it as it was intended, as a cruiser, top down, highway speeds. It's a blast to drive. I mean, the 275 GTBs recognized as one of the best street Ferraris ever put out for the era. And this is the same driving dynamics, just with the convertible option.
And that's the factory North American Racing Team logo that was on the car?
That's the NART logo, yeah, the badge that they put on.
I just love this thing. Well, man, thanks for bringing it to Moda Miami.
Yeah, we're happy to be here.
And I'm sure you're winning some sort of big award, if I had to guess.
We'll see. I haven't seen anything yet, but the judge was very nice. We came by this morning and we chatted about the vehicle, so we'll see.
And it is a wonderful little Italian thing, for sure.
It definitely is.
All right, so we got a two-time guest here, Rob, at Moda Miami. And Rob, you and I are friends. One thing I've come to know is that you like weird, quirky British race cars. So tell me, what are we looking at?
I do. I like the cars I don't fit in, as you know. So we're looking at a 1952 Cooper MG. It's a Cooper chassis. They sold them as rolling chassis back then because of tax purposes. The body was a one-off body by Gray and Rich. It was commissioned by Victor Percy Drew. He was a shop manager at University Motors, so he sourced the 1250 X-Pag MG motor and built this car. And he initially built it to race, but then thought it was too pretty and never raced it.
Oh, really?
So it didn't actually race until the 60s when he sold it. But yeah, it's one of somewhere between 12 and 20 T21 Cooper variants they built. They moved on from the T14 variant, which I'm restoring right now, to Creative Workshop, and moved to the T21. The T21, they then moved to the Cooper Bobtail, which I sold with you last year at RM in Pebble Beach.
So what draws you to these cars?
You know, I like the hunt and finding, you know, there's maybe 6 to 8 of these left.
Right.
And finding one of 6 or 8 is a challenge.
Cool. Yeah.
and when you find something, it's just I like to look, I like to hunt, I like unique, I like rare, affordable.
Affordable, right?
And you know, they get into every show, they get into every tour, they get into every event. They're fun to drive. This one's very fast. Probably
it's a really good-looking car from the rear here. You know?
It's got, you know, he was actually in the 1952 Autosport magazine at Silverstone, and he said he always wanted a 166 Barchetta Ferrari. Couldn't afford it. So this was his styling and what he thought the Barchetta, little longer nose.
Yeah, much longer nose.
Little longer tail, yeah. But as you know, my uncle Howard Banaszak has the Joy 500, which is a sister car to this, which probably looks more like the 166 Barchetta because it's a little shorter. Also very, very successful race car. We moved the firewall back, moved the pedals back so I could drive it. I'm still tight,
right.
But I can definitely drive it. And it is fun to drive. The car I'm restoring now, the T14, is faster because it's lighter, but this one is really quick and really, I've had it going last year on the tour at Amelia. I had it going 92.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
and you said these are magnesium wheels.
Magnesium wheels, yeah. Don't break one because there's only one guy in England that makes them.
And he apparently made you one.
He's made one. He made me one. He's made me a couple of sets actually because I had them made for the Bobtail when I had it. And yeah, he's very proud of his work.
Well, if you got a cast magnesium, right?
Yeah.
Well, awesome, man.
Thank you.
Thanks for
Of course.
bringing the car to Moda Miami.
Of course. Thanks for having me as usual.
All right, we have previous podcast guest Philip Richter on. How you doing, buddy?
I'm good. Good
Well,
to see you.
I know you like really rare, cool cars, and apparently you got one of the rarest and coolest behind you. So what did you bring to Moda Miami?
I brought a 2009 SL65 Black Series. This was a car that was produced only in 2009. 350 worldwide were produced. This is a US car, 175 for the US. The US cars and the Euro cars are slightly different. The US cars have side airbags and normal seats. The Euro cars do not have side airbags and they have carbon fiber race seats, which Jeremy Clarkson adamantly said they were like sitting on a pile of rocks.
Right.
So that's how you could tell the Euro car from the
Right.
US car.
So same side blinker lights, headlights,
Same
that kind of
exact
stuff.
car, yeah.
Oh, interesting. All right. So is it a hardtop convertible or strictly a hardtop?
So our 230s were hardtop convertibles, but in the conversion process at AMG, this was the first car 100% manufactured at AMG. And in the conversion process, they actually made it a permanent structural hardtop.
Interesting.
So there's actually roll bar components in here. In the production photos, you'll see that there's actual metal roll bar. It's inside, you can't see it from the interior, but this is one whole piece of carbon. So the retractable roof was removed, saving about 500 pounds,
Wow,
replaced
okay.
with carbon.
Now it's interesting. So are these carbon fenders all the flared?
Yeah, and actually it's really kind of neat. You can see it's kind of fun to
Oh, wow.
fill it up with gas. You see the carbon construction. So this was a very complicated car for them to build. I'm actually surprised it even got approved to be built. Completely bespoke, all the suspension's different than a normal 230. Obviously the incredible DTM style flares. Carbon fiber, even the leather in the interior is a different level of leather. So the build quality on this car is hand-built, second to none, I think.
So we have to ask, V12 bi-turbo, is this 6 liter, 6.3, 6.2, 8, or like what?
So it produces just under 700 horsepower.
Okay.
I believe it's a 6.3 liter bi-turbo. The turbos are bigger on the Black Series than the standard SL600
Okay, yep.
motor. And there are some other tweaks they did to get it, to produce more horsepower.
Now does some of that include the exhaust?
Yeah.
Is it a loud rocket?
It's actually, when it's running, it sounds like a Toyota Camry.
Okay.
But if you get after it, it's got a nice growl.
So what drew you to this? Just the rarity of it all?
So
special build?
Yeah, but what drew me to it is in 2009, in the middle of the financial crisis, I was walking down Park Avenue from my office, and Mercedes used to have a showroom on Park Avenue. And a Black Series, a silver one, was sitting in the showroom in 2009. And I remember in 2009, the world was ending, banks were failing,
Yes.
It was bad. And here comes this car. So I sat there and stared at it through the window, and I called my friend Scott, who owned a Mercedes dealer, to be educated on what it was, because I'd never even heard of it. And he told me all about the car, and I became obsessed. And I finally, when it hit the right part of the depreciation curve in 2014, I bought a very low mileage one-owner car. I love it in the steel gray. They only made 7 of them in this color. Most are black. The car looks really like a Batmobile in black, but in the steel gray, it takes on an elegant look. And it's a rare car with a rare color.
And what's the mileage on this one?
It's just about 2,000 miles.
Oh wow, okay.
Yeah.
And what was the original sticker on it?
304,000.
Wow.
Yeah.
That was
Which,
huge money.
In 2009 dollars, yeah. Yeah, and I even bought another set of rims for it, because these cars were produced for about 8 months in 2008, and the rims are totally bespoke to the car. So I found a set in Italy. Someone had changed them up with more bling bling wheels, and they sold their original wheels, so I bought them. So I have another set of rims for it in case.
It's a very wise purchase, I would
Maybe.
imagine.
Yeah.
So tell me about the license tag, V dozen. I'm assuming I know what the dozen is.
Yeah, V12.
Just V12.
V12.
That's
Yep.
nice.
It's cool. I didn't think that plate would be available, but it was. And you can see the exhaust tips and the diffuser. I mean, it has a really throaty exhaust.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
actually a comfortable car to drive. Once the tires are hot, it's a little bit like driving a luge when the tires aren't warm, but once it's rolling, it's actually a fairly comfortable car, very hard ride, but the interior is full luxury, has fantastic audio, very supportive seats, high quality leather, so it's a drivable supercar.
And it looks like you won some sort of award.
Yeah,
Have you heard yet?
I don't know what we won, but we won something today.
You got the Moda M, so I'll just
Yeah.
tell you ahead of time, congratulations.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, man.
Thanks.
All right, so now I have Chuck with an incredible Allard. Chuck, how you doing, buddy?
Good today.
Well, you're doing really good because you won your class, right? Not with one car, but with 2 cars? Is that right?
Correct.
What was the other?
The 1970 Mangusta.
Wow, 2 for 2, very good.
2 for 2, yeah, it's been a good day in Miami.
Yeah, well, tell me a little bit about this incredible Allard here. I have a little bit of experience because you gave me a ride in it once, which was incredible, but what are we looking at?
So it's a 1950 Allard J2 race car, originally bought by a guy named Colonel Steinmetz, who ordered it specifically to go race at Pebble Beach in 1950. It came without any engine in it. He originally put a Mercury Flathead 8 in it. That engine apparently was blown up. I'm not sure if it was blown up by him or not, because the story I was told is that after he entered it in 1950, he got cold feet and backed out of the race. He decided he didn't want to do it. So after that, it was sold to another private individual. And then, the fellow that raced with Carroll Shelby ended up driving this car. And they put a Chrysler 331 Hemi in it in 1952, and that's the engine that's in it to this day. It came with a Ford 3-speed transmission because Sidney Allard was a Ford dealer over in England. So all of the cars came with 3 speeds and Didion rear ends.
Now, did it come with this massive hood scoop?
It did.
That thing's
it
crazy.
did come with that, and the other thing it came with is because of the Hemi, this one was modified here to accommodate for the generator underneath because it's stuck up. So it's very easy to find this car because of that bump here. Not so much the massive hood scoop, but that little bump.
Now, if I remember correctly, you have a really cool story about seeing this car like 20 years earlier?
Yes.
Something crazy like that? What's that story?
So 2012, we used to do a show in the Glenmore, which is in Ohio, in Canton. And the last year, 2012, every year we had a featured mark. That year, Allard was the featured mark. And we had about 22 or 23 Allards there. Not all J2s, we had K1s, we had Ms, we had Ls, we had all different variants of Allards. But I had done the show field for them for the last 5 years. And I've got a 62 Jag E-Type, and they asked me to bring it down on Saturday, and they put it up on the stage to use it for the centerpiece for the luncheon, or actually for the dinner that night. So I bring the Jag down on Saturday morning, then I go put old clothes on because I'm setting the show field up. We actually put markers on every one of our cars with their identification number, so it made it really easy where to park them. So I would do things and then I'd go back out and tweak them. So I'm down in the grass, I've got old pants on, I've got an old sweatshirt on, I probably hadn't shaved in 4 or 5 days. And as we're all done, Dave Schultz comes up to me and says, you know, Chuck, your Jag looks great. He says, but we're featuring Allard, so do me a favor and run up and go find Andy and have him bring one of the Allards down. And I was like, well, who's Andy? And he says, Andy Piccarella. He's the president of the Allard Club, and he's got a couple of cars, and go find him. So I go up there, and I asked him to go up to the hotel, and I asked him to come down, and he comes down, and he says, can I help you? And I said, yeah, I'm Chuck Loper. Dave Schultz asked me to come up here and see if you'd be nice enough to bring one of your Allards down for display. And he looks at me, and he says, yeah, my wife's taking a nap, and I'm getting ready to go get a beer. So he says, I don't think so. And I said, well, that's okay. Dave told me to tell you if you needed me to, I'll be glad to drive the car down there for you. And at which point he looks at me like this. He goes, yeah, that's not going to happen, son. And I said, no, really, it's okay. And he does it again. He goes, yeah, you're not driving my car.
Right.
So I get him down to the show field. I had a golf cart. He follows me down. We take the car. We leave it. We're getting ready to go back up, at which point he stops me and says, hang on, before you take me back up, I want to go look at that Jag. That thing's gorgeous. And I said, it is, isn't it? And he said, he's walking around. He goes, you know, whoever owns this is some lucky son of a bitch. And I went, well, I don't know if I'm a son of a bitch, but it's mine.
Yeah, right.
And he says, yeah, there's no way that's your car. And I said, I got no reason to lie to you. So I take him back up. I go shower. I shave. I put a suit on. I'm sitting at dinner. All of a sudden, there's a tap on my shoulder, and it's Dave Schultz with Andy. And Andy turns around and looks at me. He goes, yeah, I think I owe you an apology. And I said, for what? And he said, I honestly thought you were one of the groundskeepers. I was not going to let you drive my car. And I said, well, obviously I'm not. And he said, and then he looks at me again. He goes, damn, son, you clean up good. So we laughed, and he said, look, I got a problem. Tomorrow morning, he says, I've got 3 Allards here, and I can't get them all on the show field at once, and my wife does not get up early. He said, would you be nice enough to drive my J2 down to the show field in the morning? And I said, well, yeah, show me how to drive it. So it's got because it's a race car, has a kill switch for the fuel pump up underneath there. You can't see.
Yep.
So he shows me how to do that, turn it all on, how to do the choke and get it started. So I get up early in the morning, take the car down, drop it off. All the guys, and I got a suit on because I was the field general. All the guys that are there look at me and go, good God, Chuck, where did you get that? And I jokingly said, oh, I bought it at the auction yesterday. Not knowing that 15 years later, that's exactly what I would end up doing, but I had no idea. So during the day, my son came down. I introduced him to Andy. He was 9 or 10 at that time. Andy says to me, why don't you put him in there and take some pictures of him? He says, it'll be something he'll never forget.
Yeah.
So Austin's sitting in here, and up until a couple of years ago, my screensaver on my computer was my little boy sitting in this car.
And how old was he at the time?
He was 9 or 10. He's
Wow.
23 now.
He's 23 now.
Yeah, so, yeah, it's like 14 years ago.
Well,
So I take the picture. I go to say goodbye. Andy says, well, listen, before you put the car away for me, he says, why don't you take your son for a ride in it? And I said, I thought I was never driving your car.
yeah.
He goes, you're a real smart ass, aren't you?
Yeah.
And I said, well, I didn't mean to be, but you told me I'm not going to drive your car. He said, well, despite my first impressions, he goes, you obviously know what you're doing. He says, no, take your son for a ride. So I took him for a ride, took him all around, put the car away, said goodbye to them, didn't think much of it. I'm at an estate sale a few months later, and I find a poster, Monterey Historic Car Race, and it's an Allard going around a corner with a Mercedes SLR right behind it.
Oh my goodness.
So I buy it for like $5 or something. I have it framed, and I put an inscription on it, and it said, to Andy, thanks for sharing your Allard with us from Chuck and Austin. It's my son. And I sent it to him for Christmas. And he called me up, and he goes, oh my God, where did you find that? I said, I was in an estate sale. And I said, it looked a lot like your car, so I thought you'd like it. He goes, it doesn't look like my car. That is my car.
Oh my goodness.
Because of this.
Right, because
You
of
could
the
see
hood
it
bulge.
you could see it in the poster because of the bulge for the generator.
Right.
And I said, no way. And he goes, listen, you got a friend for life. He says, you come to Massachusetts, you do whatever you want. He says, you come stay with my wife and I. So about a year later, I had to go up for a work event. I had dinner with him. That would have been like 2014 probably. And then I never saw him again. Fast forward to 2023 at Amelia Island, I'm at the RM auction. I walk in the back, and as I'm walking down the rows, I look up, and I didn't go there with any intention of buying a car. And I look down and I see this thing. And I reach up underneath and I find the kill switch and I said, it's got to be the same car.
Right.
So
Yeah.
I asked the RM people, is that the Andy Picarella's car? And they didn't know, but they said, this fellow over here, he consigned it, so go ask him. So he tells me, yes, that's Andy's car. And I said, he wouldn't be here by any chance. He goes, yeah, he's down front talking to Bill Warner. So I go walk down, and he turned around, and he just kind of looked at me blank, and unfortunately, he'd had a stroke, you could tell.
Oh.
And I said, Andy, it's Chuck Loper. And he's like, didn't
Yeah.
click. And I said, it's Chuck, the guy who sent you the poster of your car. And then it clicked. And he gave me a big hug, and he goes, what are you doing here? And I said, well, I just came to look around, but I don't know, maybe I'll go home with an Allard. And he said, oh my God, if you bought my car, it'd be so great. And he says, actually, he says, if you want to work out a deal right now, I'll pull it from the auction. And I said, no, I'm not doing that. That's not going
Right.
to happen. I said, that's
Yeah.
not right. And he goes, no, I want you to have that car. He says, with you and me, with our history, he says, I want you to have it. And I said, well, why are you selling it? And he says, look at me. He says,
Yeah.
I'm not going to be around much longer. So I said, well, look, I'll go do the best I can. So he is sitting in the huge tent like we have here, but packed, thousands of people in the right front corner. I'm over with my friends over in the left front corner. So I walk all the way back around and sit down. About 2 minutes later, I look up, and Andy is sitting next to me. I go, Andy, what are you doing? He says, well, my daughter Mimi's here. She's over in the corner. She's going to video the whole thing when you buy my car with me sitting next to you.
Oh, that's great.
And I'm like, no pressure,
No
right?
pressure at all.
No pressure at all. So I end up buying the car. I'm bidding on it. I end up buying it. And I look up, and Andy's gone. And I was like, where'd he go? And this woman comes walking up to me, and she goes, hi, I'm Mimi. I'm Andy's daughter. She goes, can I give you a hug? And I said, yeah, sure, why? And she said, my father is not an emotional person. He's over in the corner crying, saying he can go to his grave now knowing where his car went. I'm going to start crying.
I'm going to start crying.
Yeah, and I was like, oh my gosh. And she goes, he is so happy you got the car. She goes, but I want you to know something. She goes, he had that car sold earlier on Bring a Trailer for almost $100,000 more than you paid for it.
Oh, wow.
And I went, really? And she goes, yes. And she said, but he didn't like the guy, and he wouldn't do the deal. She said, the stars aligned. This was kismet. You're supposed to have this car. So she said, what are you doing for dinner? And I said, well, I had plans, but I'll change them. I said, I'll come have dinner with you and your dad. And I said, where do you want to go? Now, we're at the Ritz-Carlton at Amelia Island. She goes, you know what? My dad loves Cracker Barrel.
Ah, nice.
So we drove all the way out to Yulee, and I had dinner with him, which is the last time I ever saw him. And he said to me, listen, I wasn't going to do this, but if you come to Massachusetts, he says, I'll give you all the extra parts I have for this car. He says, I got an extra rear end, an extra transmission. I got an extra block. He says, I got all kinds of body parts. They're all yours, plus all the awards I've ever won with this car. 60 years he owned this car. All the awards, everything I ever did.
How about the poster?
And the poster. He says,
Oh.
and your poster. He says, I'll give it all to you. He said, but don't take too long because I won't be here much longer. I was like, well, don't say that. Well, that was March. In May, his daughter called me and told me he passed away. So I went up there probably 2 months later with my niece. We took a trailer, and I got there, and his daughter came out, his other daughter, Maggie, who I'd never met, introduced herself, said, my dad left you all kinds of things. There's boxes and boxes. She goes, and all the engine parts and everything. She goes, it's all there for you. She says, that's the good news. I said, what's the bad news? She goes, all the engine parts and the transmission and everything? She goes, it's on the 3rd floor of the barn, and unfortunately the lift's broken.
Oh no.
So we got it all down, and we came home, and I've stayed in touch with them. My fiance Denise and I, we did a rally this past October, and when we were done, we were in Massachusetts. We went out to the Cape, and we stayed with them. We stayed with his daughter,
wow, nice.
And her husband's name is Greg as well, and we stayed with them and had a wonderful time. I was contacted by a guy named Mark Brinker earlier this year,
Mark,
who was doing race cars that raced at Pebble Beach, and asked us to bring this to Pebble Beach this year for that class.
Really?
Yeah, I don't know if I'm in yet or not.
Yeah.
We're not sure. I'm waiting to find out. But if we do, I had told Maggie and Mimi, both of them, that I would fly him out. That was their dad's dream, to get this car to Pebble Beach. He applied 3 times. I found all the paperwork, and unfortunately, all 3 times he was turned down.
Wow.
So we'll see what happens. It'll come full circle. I'd love to do that for him. Every time I drive this, I think about Andy. I mean,
Yeah, that's
60
great.
years, for someone to own a car for 60 years and then be so gracious as to tell me how happy he is that I'm the new caretaker, I couldn't be happier.
That's incredible. Well, I have to ask, from a driving, living with it perspective, what's your favorite aspect and what's your least favorite? What's the best and the worst?
It's a wind in your face, feel good kind of experience. It's a son of a gun to drive.
I know that, yes. Yeah.
You're 8 feet behind the front wheels. You step on the brakes and they go left, right. They pull you all over the place because they're drums.
I know there's no side mirrors, but you have a side mirror as your center mirror.
In the center, yeah.
Almost looks like one of the ones from a Cobra.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It kind of does.
So yeah, so it's got to be a handful.
It's
just
a
to
handful
navigate,
to drive.
right?
And Andy was a very small man. I think he was 5'4", 5'3".
Oh, wow, okay.
And I'm 5'10". If you look in here and you see where the pedals are,
Yeah.
there's no place for me to rest my foot where my knees aren't up underneath the
Yeah,
dashboard, which is
right.
pretty uncomfortable.
Yeah.
But it's okay, we make the best of it. We did the tour, it was pretty funny. I took this seat out and I went and got the cushions off of my deck, which are about this thick.
Oh, yeah.
And I had one across the back, and Denise had a scarf, and we put the scarf underneath, and I had the other one underneath, and then I was pretty comfortable because I've taken this seat out and sat in here, and then I'm pretty comfortable. I need this like extra 3 inches. So sometime during the spring, I'm going to have this seat taken out to have the stuffing taken down.
No cruise control, huh?
No cruise control. Actually,
no, a lot of stuff.
no.
Yeah.
No. It's pretty simple. It's a Ford 3-speed. It's easy enough to drive. We had it up to, I don't know, I have no idea if this is accurate or not, but I was probably at 3,500 RPM. So I'm guessing, according to the folks around us, we were doing 74, 75 the whole time.
Right. Right.
When we were on the highway. It handles amazingly well going left. What's weird, turning right where you think you can feel it,
Right.
it wants to oversteer. It's really, you got to keep coming back because there was and for Denise, when she was sitting over here and we're going down the traffic, all of a sudden I'd feel her hand on my leg. It's like, okay, you're getting over to the other lane a little too far.
Yeah, a little stress, yeah. Well, Chuck, thanks so much for bringing it and sharing it at Moda Miami, man.
Well, thank you for having us.
Hopefully I'll see it at Monterey.
Yeah.
All right, so I have John with this incredible Mopar. Hey, John, what am I looking at right here?
Greg, this is a 1970 Plymouth Superbird, made 1 year, 1970. And this is a car that I was a teenager and I was in high school. And my dad and I would always look at the classified ads in papers and say, "Ooh, look at this car, look at that car." And one day, Dad called me in, the local Morgantown, West Virginia paper, and he said, "Let's go look at this car." And it was a Superbird that had been sold in Morgantown, West Virginia. Here's the original ad from Wilkins Motors that the car was advertised there at Wilkins. I bought it 52 years ago. I'm going on my 53rd year of ownership.
So now you said that is this actual car because they only had one at that dealership. Is that right?
That's my understanding. I know that I've seen pictures of this car inside the dealership, and there was a unique positioning of the nose that I said, I know that's my car.
Yeah.
And so I bought it in '75.
So now, how old were you when you first put your butt in the front seat?
17.
Was your dad crazy? Like, what dad says, I'm gonna buy my son this car as his first car?
Dad let me get away with that for about 3 months.
Okay.
And then he said, John, I think we'd better park it.
Oh, wow.
And so I don't know whether he wanted to save the car or he wanted to save me, God bless him. But when Dad said that, I said, okay. And so I really didn't get to put a lot of miles on it. A buddy and I drove it down to the Kentucky Derby one year, but that's the only real miles that I really got to put on it.
So then it was put away for storage, Sunday drives or occasional drives?
It was put away for storage. I'd move it with me over the 52 years of my professional career. Insurance, and sat in the garage, and it was 52 years of craziness to keep doing this, and I'm very fortunate. I decided I wanted to restore it, and after a lot of searching, looking for the right person, I found a gentleman up in Providence, Rhode Island, Mike Mancini at American Muscle Car Restorations. Flew up, met Mike. Spent time, he's done, I think, 7 Daytonas and Superbirds.
Yeah.
So I knew this guy, knew his cars. I told him the car had to remain entirely original. And so the car is pretty much original, where he's refurbished everything. There's a few parts that he's had to redo, but it was actually more of a 4 or 5 year restoration. Mike and his team have just done a great job.
Yeah, Mike's been on the podcast before and he does amazing work. Do you mind opening the door for me?
Sure.
And so what I want to make sure the listeners know is that this is all NOS, new old stock or the original. Like, this is the original door panel, original hoses, original everything.
Yeah.
And I think
that's
you said
the original dash.
Original dash. I mean, it's just unbelievable. In Mike's level of detail, you can see the plastic covering the seat belts. And I think he said there's only like 2 things that's not original on here. It was like the battery cover, and what was it, the seats or something like that?
Yeah.
It was, but every other thing, the headliner, the weather stripping, everything is incredible.
The trunk stripping, I mean, Mike found the original numbers on it and said, we're going to keep it. We can redo it. And the stabilizer bars, Mike pulled them off and he shows me, he goes, these are perfect. The motor mounts and the transmission mounts, the rubbers, the moldings on all of those. He just said, I can reuse these.
So interesting, this little part right there.
Yeah.
Well, let's look underneath the hood here. It's open, so we might as well look, right?
Yeah, please.
I mean, so what's the engine?
Greg, it's the 440 with the big Carter 4-barrel, and I ran the dickens out of it in the 3 short months that I was really driving it. And it was a great runner.
Yeah. Wow, it's just spectacular. I remember earlier Mike was saying, I think the black cover on the battery is a replacement, but every red one is the factory. You had to restore each one of those little red caps.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
So now, is this its debut? Has it been somewhere else before this?
We were honored to be invited to the Audrain.
Oh, yes.
In Newport.
Yep.
And Mike did, the first time I got to see it, Mike unveiled it at Carlisle last year for the 100th anniversary. He had this on the lift, and it's the first time I got to see it completed. It'll choke you up.
Oh my gosh, I can't even imagine. So what are the future plans for the car?
I'm going to take it to Homestead and do hot laps.
Ah, there we go. All right, so what are some of your secrets to success in having a wonderful car like this restored?
There's really 2 key items. First, you got to find the right restore, and in Mike Mancini, I found that. But most importantly, day in, day out, I had a beautiful wife that didn't look at the checkbook. And as long as she's not looking at the checkbook, I could keep going.
Well, hopefully she's not looking at this video either.
I hope not. Thank you, Greg. I appreciate it.